perfect bridge, I think, to introduce Matt to you. Matt is the workshop leader by today. Please give him a very, very much.
Alright guys, so I want to talk to you today about strengths orientation. So what do you notice here? What do you notice? Sorry, yeah?
9 plus 3 is 12 and not 11.
9 plus 3 is 12 and not 11. Yes. That one's wrong, isn't it? Yeah, sorry. You're right. Thank you. He's right. That one's wrong. What else do you notice?
The rest are right.
5 are right. 5 are right, but we never notice that. We always notice that 1 is wrong. No disrespect to you whatsoever. I've asked this question of 100 groups, and we always see the same thing. We have developed a talent. We have developed a skill for finding the hair in the soup, for finding the problem and then putting all of our focus on it. And that's not bad, okay? Fixing problems is important. I can't go through life ignoring problems. If I see that the roof is broken and I think, it might fall on her head, well, I'm operating a strengths-oriented focus, so I'm not going to fix the roof. I'm just going, oh, look at the bird. That's not acceptable. I have to fix the ceiling, right? But when I fix the ceiling, what do I have? If the ceiling is going to fall on her head, if I repair the ceiling, what do I have now? A repaired ceiling. That's it. I don't have the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. I don't have some high quality, wonderful ceiling. I have a fixed ceiling. So if you go through life with the mentality of finding the errors, that's okay. You can fix the errors. And then what do you have? Fixed errors. What would it be like if we spent some of our energy fixing errors and problems, and the rest of our energy really focusing on what's great and trying to make that even better? Right, let's say, for example, this is little Johnny's maths class, right? You can see he's not very good at maths. So, little Johnny goes to school, he's got problems with maths. He doesn't have a problem with the maths teacher, he likes the maths teacher, he's just not very good at maths. In Britain, at the end of every school term, at the end of every semester, every child gets sent home with a piece of paper, a report card. You get the same in Germany, right? It has all the different classes on, and you get your grades on it. You know, in Germany, 1's the best and 6 is the worst. Is that right? Do we have people here from other countries where the system's different? You're from Holland? What's the system in Holland? 10 is best? Yeah. Oh, okay. So if you get a 1 in Holland, that's the worst, and in Germany, it's the best. Did you say you have from another country?
Say 1 to 10. 10 is the best. 5 passes, 4 is not fine.
Are you also from the Netherlands?
No, I'm from Romania.
From Romania, they have the same system. Okay. In Britain, we have A is the best and F is the worst. Okay, but the principle is the same. So let's say this is Johnny's report card. Right? He's got an A in English, he's got an A+ in geography, C in French, an F in maths, and in fact the teacher has put a sad face next to it and written, must try harder. B in history, D in biology. Honest guys, hand on heart, honest response here. What would 9 out of 10 parents do if Johnny comes home with this report card?
Give them math or teacher.
Almost certainly. Spend money on an extra curricular maths teacher, yeah? The Germans call it Nachhilfe. Find some guy to help you with maths. What else might they do? Berate the child. Maybe punish him. Maybe say no more PlayStation until you get a better grade. What else might they do? What's the opposite of no more PlayStation?
More PlayStation.
They might say, if your grade goes up in maths, then I'll buy you a tennis racket or whatever, right? So maybe a carrot, maybe the stick. Yeah? What else might they do? Talk to the school, go and talk to the teacher, have an emergency conference with the teacher. What else might they do? redo the class. The German school system, I don't know if you have this in Holland, but the German school system, if you fail, you have to do this class again. Massive kids sitting with all the little kids in class. That's good for social development, isn't it? Let's make him sit with the little kids and look like a complete loser. Absolutely. What a wonderful school system that is. Maybe I'll buy him a CD-ROM. Maybe I'll spend time myself as a parent every night after school. Come on, Johnny, come and sit with me and let's spend a couple of hours on maths. So in other words, I spend time and energy and no little money focusing on Johnny's weakness. And 9 parents out of 10 will do exactly that, guys. And it's not wrong. Are any of you parents here? Okay. I'm not saying that parents who do that are wrong. My parents did the same with me. My mother sent me to extra maths classes every Wednesday for 6 years. I went to that fat, smelly woman's house and sat there with 3 other idiots, and that her dog would lick me, and I hated every second of it. And after 6 years of fighting with my mum and hating this class, and my mum no doubt spent thousands of pounds on this, I scraped through with a just passed C- in maths. And I hated every minute of it, and I wasted so many hundreds of hours. My question to you guys, this is an honest question, and I want you to reflect on this tonight and for the next few days. If we send him to extra geography classes, that was a rhetorical question, but you're welcome to answer.
Geographer, but would still fail in school because he won't get any degree. So he will never have a future and could not enter uni.
Okay, it's kind of a negative view, but I'm with you. I'm not saying don't focus on maths. That wasn't my message here. I agree, the German school system and most Western world school systems have been designed that you have to reach minimum acceptable standard in certain subjects. Agree? Maths, German, English, science. You have to pass these subjects. Agree? Right, so let's send Johnny to classes. Let's work with him on his class. Let's speak to his teacher. Let's do all of that. And let's get him to acceptable standard. But honestly, guys, if I spend 6 years bashing this kid with maths, will he become Stephen Hawking? No. No. So I have a professional responsibility and an emotional responsibility to get him to acceptable standard. Agreed? Fix the ceiling. But it is still a fixed ceiling. It's a kid who has just passed. What if we spend a lot of energy and a lot of time here fixing the problem, but what if we just spend a little bit of our energy and a little bit of money and a little bit of our time working on his talents?
You will get one
Hey, it might drag the other things up. This guy may solve the tectonic plate problem. This guy may be the guy who eliminates tsunamis. He seems to have a natural talent for geography, agreed? And we don't do it. We don't do it at school. We don't promote high performance at school. We have a school system, and I'm not talking about schools today, guys. I can gladly go for a beer with you and talk for 4 days about school systems. That's not my argument today, but school systems, and personally, and particularly in professional life, we spend too much time focusing on our weaknesses. And when you do that, all you get is fixed weaknesses. I'd like to talk to you today about a high performance mentality, about helping people identify what their natural talents are, and then working on those. Let's be honest, what's your name, brother? Max. Let's be honest, Max, you want to set up a company, right? Yeah. You want to be an entrepreneur. Do you want to set up an average company, or do you want to set up a top company? Alright, it's a bullshit question, but it's the fairest question I'm going to ask you today. Because if anyone's sitting here thinking, well, I might set up a little thing, and it might be successful, it might not, I'll kind of have a mediocre attitude to it. I assume that no one is sitting here in this room with that attitude. If you want to set something up special, change something, do something that people will remember in 40 years' time, and make a shitload of cash, let's be honest. If you want to do something really special, you have to work with talent. You have to know what your talents are, and you have to identify the talents of the people around you and get them doing the right thing. What do bees look for? They look for pollen, and where do they find pollen?
Flowers.
Flowers, in the beautiful things in life. Yeah. What do flies look for? Shit. Absolutely right. Shit. And they don't just look for shit. When they find it, they pick it up, they rub it in their hands, and they fly over here and they spread some shit over here. Kind of move the shit around. Look, I brought a fly with you today. Look, you want to be a fly? Do you want to go through life picking shit up and spreading the shit around? Or do you want to go through life with a different mentality, like a bee? Bees look for the good things in life. And when they find them, they pick them up, and they fly over here, and they spread more beautiful stuff over here, and we get more beauty over here. It's the best animal in the whole world, the bee. Now, some people say, and I'm getting the impression that you're kind of the kind of flying glasses kind of guy who might come up with some of these ideas today. But some people might say, well, 4 trillion flies can't be wrong. Agreed, we have a lot of flies, and the bees are dying. But they're not dying because they're not doing good work, they're dying because of us. All right? Do I want to go through life with my fly glasses on, only finding the hair in the soup, only finding the issues? Or do I want to go through life and through professional life like a bee? Oh, pick some good stuff up over there. He's got talent. I'm going to work with him. I'm going to spread the talent over here. Am I going to be a fly or am I going to be a bee? Do you know this picture? The man says to the animals, so that it's all fair, you all get the same task. Climb the tree. Fair? That's not fair.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's fair?
Absolutely.
That's absolutely not fair at all. The monkey's already in the tree. The elephant's crushed the tree. The bird's flying above the tree going, huh? Fair? The seal has got, fair? The fish is like, that's not fair. And if you want to work in teams, guys, and if you want one day people to be working for you, you can't be fair with them. You can't be fair with them because they're different. Now, the interesting thing is, we notice that the animals are different. We notice that the elephant is big, the fish can swim, the monkey has 4 hands and a tail. We notice that they're physically different. And we notice in life when people are physically different. But what we are not very good at is noticing when people are cognitively different. How tall are you, my friend? 192. How tall are you, madame? 160. Let's imagine this is 40,000 years ago, right? This is not Bielefeld, this is all marshland and swamps. And you're like a tribe of Neanderthal people just trying to survive. Yeah, trying to find food and keep warm and somehow survive. If you were the tribe, and what's your name, my friend? Felix and Amelie. If Felix and Amelie were in the tribe, honest question, guys, who would you send out to pick the fruit? Felix or Amelie? Felix. Why? Because he has a natural talent for reaching fruit. No disrespect to you, I'm sure you're very talented. Agreed, I didn't call you short, but he has a naturally occurring talent for picking fruit. Agreed? She has faster twitch fibres in her legs though, so I would maybe send her out to chase animals and gazelles and I don't know. And he's got particularly soft hands, so I would have him back at the camp looking after the babies. Why did that get a laugh? Oh, you do have very soft hands. So we notice that, don't we? No disrespect, he's naturally predisposed to be good at picking fruit. And with him with his soft hands, he's naturally predisposed to look after babies. We're very good at seeing that when it's physical, but not when it's cognitive. I go to so many companies, guys. I work for a lot of blue chip companies, a lot of DAX companies, Fortune 500 companies, SMEs. It doesn't matter where I go, the people I work with tell me the same thing. They expect everyone in the company to be jack of all trades. They expect everyone to be good at Excel. They expect everyone to be strategic, and everyone has to give good presentations, everyone has to take part in meetings, and everyone has to chair meetings, and everyone has to be able to give feedback and take feedback. And everyone has to do a little bit of sales. And I'm tall, and I'm short, and you're asking me to reach for the fruit. People are not all cognitively the same. Some people are brilliant at seeing patterns in Excel tables, and some people have a natural ability for giving presentations. If he's got a natural ability for giving presentations and connecting with a group, I should send him to pitch. And if he's got a natural ability for recognizing patterns in numbers, I should get him working with Excel. Put your hand up if you talk to strangers in lifts and aeroplanes. Do you ever do this? Yeah? Do you have to tidy your apartment before you can relax? Hands up. Really? Okay. Do you hang up your shirts in the wardrobe according to colour? Really, people? I see that you put one hand up and you put your other hand over your face like this. What's your name? Jenny. Did you have to think about your name? I'm going to give him a fake name here. My name's actually Charlie, but I organise my clothes according to colour, so today I'm Secret Jenny. Jenny, my wife does this actually. I love my wife to the ends of the earth, but she is special sometimes. I came home from work one day, this is a couple of years ago, and I was really tired. You know that feeling after work, you just want to relax, you just don't want to do anything. I sat on the couch, I was tired, and my wife was really excited. I'm just tired, not ill. What do you think? What is it? And she wanted to show me that we have a library in our lounge with lots of books. And I looked over, and she had organised every book in our library according to colour. And she was so excited about it. So now, my yellow Langenscheidt dictionary is here, my green Pond's dictionary is here, and my black Webster's dictionary is here. That's fantastic organisation skills. Who makes to-do lists? Who makes to-do lists at the weekend? Really, people? Really? Who makes to-do lists, and as they're doing the list, they think, I've already done that, I'll write it on the list, and then cross it off. Do you understand? Yeah? Good man. Who's sometimes accused of being too nice? Who's sometimes accused of not being nice enough? He was quick to put his hand up there. Who asks too many questions? My son. Who's always on the go? Who pushes the lift button to remind the lift that you want it to come? Come on, come on. So why didn't you all put your hand up to all the questions? It's such a cheap answer, guys, but it's so powerful. You are so different, and your responsibility as entrepreneurs, your responsibility as startups, is to identify the talent in the people that you work with. And more importantly, to identify your talent. And it will not be the same, as we've just seen. You put your hands up to different things. You have instincts that react and kick in at different times. If we come back to Max, is it? Come back to Max's idea. He wants to have a special company. He doesn't want to have an average company. If you want special, guys, you've got to identify the talents with the people that you work with. Okay, so this is Don Clifton. He's no longer with us. He was the guy who founded this whole strengths movement about 40 years ago in the United States. And he set up the organisation together with Gallup, which designed the test, which I will talk to you about later, that you all did in the last couple of days. Don said, a leader needs to know his strengths like a carpenter knows her tools. And it's so true, guys. If I was a carpenter and I wanted to build something and I took a hammer every time to it, I'm going to smash a lot of things. I would know if I want to cut it, I need a saw. If I want to join it, I need a screwdriver. If I need to break it, I have a hammer. And you need to know the same as leaders, and you need to know the same as entrepreneurs. What am I great at? Because I can get high performance from that, really top high performance. What am I quite good at, and I work hard at? And where do my strengths not lie? And I should be getting other people to do those kinds of things. I should be developing a network where those people can cover those things. Because if we spend time, guys, doing jobs that we're not naturally talented at, what kind of performance do we deliver?
average or below?
Yeah, almost certainly below average, I would say. You know, do you have boyfriends or girlfriends, guys? Do you have partners, or husbands or wives? Yeah, do you have partners? You know, when your partner says, they give you a job to do. You know, I love my wife very much, but she gives me jobs. Like she's my boss, you know? Go and do something. The jobs she gives me are always shit jobs. She never gives me jobs that I love. Have you noticed that? For example, the key job she gives me is taking out the rubbish. That's my key responsibility. Apparently she sees in me the kind of guy who should take out rubbish. So she says, take the rubbish out. So I don't want to take the rubbish out, and I'm not very good at it. So how do I do it? I take the bag, drag it down the stairs. I go outside. We have 3 bins. I don't understand why we have 3 bins in Germany. That confuses me. I don't know what goes in what bin. That's just too much for me. I just kick it under. That'll do. In other words, I perform as low quality as I possibly can because I have no natural talent for this skill. And I have no interest in it. And 9 times out of 10, if you have an interest in something, then that's connected in some way to some kind of natural talent. Don also said there's no definitive list of characteristics that describes good leaders. So we will see today, there's 30 of you in the room, and we'll look at your profiles later, and we will see that there will be 30 different leader profiles. Just like there's one tall guy, and one soft-handed, and one vertically challenged person. You're physically different, and you're cognitively different, and there's no definitive way, there's no definitive list of skills that will make you a particularly good leader. And you know this. You don't need me to tell you this. You know that Barack Obama and Donald Trump are very different leaders. You know that Theresa May and Angela Merkel lead in very different ways. You know that Bill Gates and Steve Jobs led in very different ways. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, maybe the best example ever. Both set up burgeoning companies in an industry that didn't exist in the 1970s. Both started in their mother's garage, building products that nobody knew what they were or cared about. Both college dropouts, both average academically at school. Both went on to be captains of industry, 2 of the most successful business people of all time. Both had completely different ways of doing things. I don't know if you've done any research on these guys. Do you know anything about Bill Gates? Do you know anything about Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs, genius entrepreneur, one of the nastiest human beings who ever lived. Absolute amateur human being. Didn't speak to his family for decades, had a massive house, had no furniture, sat on the floor like a hermit. He would regularly fire people for no reason at all. What's your name? You're fired! Just unbelievable dictator in his organization. Had no respect for friendship. Some friends worked for him and with him for 20, 30 years, fired them with no benefits, no pension, no, you could argue, no soul, no human connection. And yet he created maybe the world's sexiest brand. Maybe the sexiest brand the world has ever seen. And he created products, or he got other people to create products that we didn't even know we wanted. Bill Gates, an absolute gentleman, married to the same woman for 40 years, very quiet speaking, very well organized, a genius coder. Steve Jobs had no idea about computers, didn't know how to switch it on. Wasn't the Apple the real genius behind it? Very direct in meetings, but very fair, gave everyone the opportunity to talk. Since he's left the front seat at McDonald's, at Windows, he has set up the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is basically going to philanthropically give all of his 70 billion to children and Africa and charities before he dies. An absolute philanthropic act, completely different. Both set up companies at the same period of time, in the same industry, in the same part of Southern California, led in very different ways, and followed their talents in very different ways. Any questions for me, guys? Okay, maybe you're the kind of person you're going, yeah, Matt, that's all very well. Sounds good, sounds a little bit American. Oh, if you focus on your strengths, everything will be good. It sounds a bit kind of guru bullshit, right? So maybe there are some people in the room who want some hard facts. You want some data. Show me the money, Matt. Show me some numbers, and then I might be interested. So I'll show you a couple of results from studies that have looked into strengths. That have looked into, if I work with strengths, do I get to quality? And if you're interested in this kind of thing, guys, go to Google Scholar, type in strengths, and you'll get 100,000 hits. Read all the studies. I'll show you a couple today. One of them, done by Glock a few years ago. He wanted to know whether training can make you better at something. So he took the device of reading, okay, and specifically speed reading. You got a book anywhere? Somebody got a book? Here we go, there's a magazine here. Yeah, you know there are some people who are average speed readers. So they read like this. What do you think? How many words per minute does an average reader read? Yeah? 200? Give me a number. 250? That's about a page of A4 printed. Give me a number. 100. You said that without moving your lips. Very good. 100. An average reader can read about 90 words a minute. Okay? Not bad, not bad. So what Glock did is he took these people and he sent them to a training course. On that training course, they learned the technique of reading fast. Okay? You have to find the right words and cross-reference. There's different techniques you can learn. What do you think? After the training, how many words per minute can these people read?
Maybe
100.
100. They didn't improve much.
A slight improvement. I see you have your fly glasses on there. Okay, slight improvement, thank you. Anyone else? Give me a number. 150. Give me a number. Man with the glasses. 120. Not bad at all. 150 is right. Stickers on the girl in front of you. 150. So what's the motto here? Training works. Okay. The HR department are patting themselves on the back, going, yeah, training works. Improvement. But there are some people, guys, who have a natural talent for speed reading. I don't know where it comes from. I don't care what you believe in, God or nature or Allah or luck or serendipity or whatever. But they were just given this natural talent for things, right? And some people, my mother is one of these people. She reads like this. I mean, it's unbelievable. She takes like 10 books on holiday. It's just incredible. Some people have a natural talent for speed reading. What do you think? How many words a minute can they read? 300. 350 in fact. Some people can naturally read fast. They sent these over average speed readers on the same training course as the other guys, and after the course, how many words per minute do you think they could read? 300. Oh, less. Ooh. Fly glasses there, I like that. Okay. Give me a number.
450 maybe.
450, slight improvement. 2,900 words a minute. The world record, by the way, stands at about 10,000 words a minute. It's superhuman. But I don't want to talk about speed reading today, okay? My message is not about reading fast. I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is the motto here. The motto here is training works. What's the motto here? Training works, comma, if you work with talent. If you work with talent, you can get best in class. I can thrash these people and flog these people and send them to 100,000 training courses. I will never get best in class from them in this particular thing because they don't have a natural talent for it. And I see this in companies all the time, right here. I see this all the time. Managers identify a weakness in their team. Oh, Sarah's not very good at giving presentations. Hello, HR department. Yeah, one of my team's not very good at giving presentations. Can I send her to a training course, please? So they get some coaching, and And he's overpriced. They paid €2,000 to train Sarah how to present. Before the course, she presented like this. I would like to talk. And then after the course, she presents like this. I would like to talk today. She's not going to become Steve Jobs. She's not going to become Barack Obama for charisma and engagement with an audience, is she? And we know that. And that's okay. I'm sure she's good at something. We just haven't found what it is yet. My job as a leader is not to send her to some course and get her up to average. My responsibility is to find what her talents are and get her performing best in class. Okay, some of you might be thinking, yeah, okay, Matt, that's speed reading. That doesn't really help us in our world. We don't do a lot of speed reading. Let's talk about business. So let's talk about managers communicating with the people that they work with. There's 3 ways of leading. I can either have no focus on strengths or weaknesses. I don't even know my team's names. I don't know who they are. I don't know when their birthday is. I know nothing about them. Or I focus on their weaknesses, or I focus on their strengths. Managers who know nothing about the team that they work with, 98% of people are either not engaged or are actively disengaged. So I think the message here is clear. As a leader, if I'm putting a team together, I need to know my people. I need to focus on them and give them time, face time and connection. Agree? Okay, 2% of these people just love it anyway. My boss doesn't know my name, but I love my job anyway. These guys are sociopaths, you know. I mean, I'm happy for them, but that's 2% of the people we're going to work with. If you're setting up a company, you've got 100 people working for you, there will be 2 crazies who work like crazy, even if you don't look at them. But we need to focus on the other 98, right? Actively disengaged, by the way, guys, means if you work for BMW and the phone rings and you pick it up and the person says, hello, I'd like a high-quality car. Oh, high-quality car, phone Audi. That is actively disengaged, right? Deliberately trying to fuck up the process. So these people sitting at work, 40% of their team were sitting at work going, how can I smash this place up? Right, so we as leaders, we as you know, team organisers, we need to have a different focus. Maybe we should focus on their weaknesses. Managers who focus on their team's weaknesses can get 45% engagement. That's not bad. Looks like a big improvement, right? But you know what this is? This is when my son comes up to me and he says, Daddy, 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 can we play football, please? No, son, I don't have any time, not now. Daddy, Daddy, please, come in the garden and play football. No, son, I told you I'm working. No. Daddy, no. My son goes off. I carry on working. 2 minutes later, I hear from the kitchen, smash, crash. I run in the kitchen, my son's on the floor, there's milk everywhere, there's cornflakes everywhere. I go, what's going on? I'm sorry, I wanted cornflakes and the milk and I'm sorry. Okay, son, come on, let's clean it up together. And we do, we clean it up together. What does my son now have? My attention. He had to smash the kitchen up to get my attention, but he's got it. That's what this is. These people are working like slaves in the hope that their leader will know. I'll show him, I'll come an hour earlier, and I'll stay an hour later, and I'll show him that really he doesn't need to focus on my weaknesses, that I've got strengths. And they burn out, and they get back pain, and they have children and don't come back for 9 years, and they go to the competitor and 1,000 other things. If I focus on my team's strengths, research shows us that I can engage 61% of people. Proper, true engagement. These are people who, lying in bed on a Sunday night, will say, I want to go to work tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward to working with that guy tomorrow morning. Just because he set up a team environment where he's got people doing things that they love. He's got people doing things that they're good at. And he's got people getting out of bed on a Monday morning going, all right, I'm going to give everything for this guy. Some other studies, guys, I could go on all night, but really quickly. One study looked at 2,000 leaders, found that there was an 86% chance of increased project success if they worked with strengths. Another found that their team was 8% more productive when they were strengths oriented. Another one found that teams were far more productive and had a more competitive edge than others if they weren't strengths oriented. Another found that there were 9% greater profitability if the feedback was given in a positive way. One study found that customer relation appraisals were 44% more likely to be higher and 38% more productivity if they worked in a strengths-based environment. Do I have to go on, guys? Another found that people were more likely to endorse their products. It went from 56% to 86%. You want people working with you who are going to talk about your product, you've got to work with them in a strengths-based environment. Another fascinating study looked at people over 25 years and asked some of them to have a fly glasses mentality and some of them to have a bee glasses mentality. The people who had a bee glasses mentality 25 years later earned $12,000 more per year and had 3 times fewer illnesses. It just works, guys. Strengths just works. A massive study, 2016, looked at 1.2 million people across 45 different countries, and they found teams and organisations that worked in a strengths-based, focused way had increases in customer engagement, employee engagement, increases in profit, increases in sales, and decreases in safety incidents. Working with people's strengths just works. And maybe the statistic of the night, you guys are entrepreneurs. Gallup's done some recent research, and they found that entrepreneurs who identify with a strength are 3 times more likely to build large, successful companies, 4 times more likely to create jobs and exceed profit goals, and 5 times more likely to exceed sales. It just works. But I can't do it for you. I can stand here banging the drum all night long and I can show you 100 different slides. You need to buy into it, you need to want to buy into it. Do I want to work with people around me who have talents and are really fantastic at what they do? Or might I have the attitude of, oh, he's really good at that, maybe I won't have him in my team because he's better than me at that? Or do I want to surround myself with talent? And more importantly, do I want to identify what my talents are so that I can get the very best out of every day? I remember what it was like when I was an entrepreneur, guys. I worked 16-hour days. I worked really hard. And I realise now that I could have worked considerably less if I'd been spending my time working on things that I'm great at and getting people who are great at other things to do that for me. The hundreds of hours I spent faffing around with WordPress, the hundreds of hours I spent talking to bloody marketing agencies, the hours and hours I spent going to trade fairs and just wasting my time with this nonsense. Not that it doesn't work, but I'm not great at it. There's a million great web designers out there. Get them doing that. I know what I'm great at. I'm great at sending a message to people, and I think I'm quite great at convincing people to do things. I should have spent more time doing it.